The Garden Report is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Hey, Bowie Manning here. Welcome to another Garden Report from Wells Fargo Center. Celtics beat the Sixers 117-107 after losing here a week ago. We talked about Al Horford's spot start, a major driving force in the second half win. Got to give credit to Derek White as well. The starters outstanding across the board. Tatum, big shots late again as he did against the Knicks on Monday. And Drew Holiday effective defensively and breaking out and passing and doing all the rest. Rebounding, a big number for him too.
A little bit of everything,
You were surprised by his rebounding numbers, 7 a game so far. Let's talk about the bench. Great reporting moment tonight. We were talking about it.
Yeah, that's right.
We were talking about it all pregame. I was standing in the locker room pregame, and I noticed Joe Mazzulla sneak in, say 2 words to DalanO Banton, who was just kind of sitting back, drowsing off, headphones in, and all of a sudden he lights right up. All his teammates go crazy.
I'm glad I was talking to Luke, because if I was there, I would have been like, yo, you playing today? Like, I would have said something weird.
I should have. So I didn't ask. I was wondering if he's going to start this game, a surprise starter, and that wasn't the case. They go with Hauser and Horford. But one of the first guys off the bench in this game was DalanO Banton, a guy who hasn't played all year and makes nice energetic impact on the game when he breaks right in. And Svi Mykhailiuk, another guy who hasn't played much this year, plays consistent minutes in this one as well. Winning bench minutes for those guys.
Definitely.
Where they haven't played all year. Super impressive.
Yeah, and I think you get a little bit of both, right, in terms of the three-point shooting and defense, guys that can get back, especially in Banton. But, with Svi, he's not afraid to let that thing fly. So I think that's a big part of why you turn to guys like that. The Celtics are constantly looking for spacing, right? Guys are going to create space, for guys like Derek White to drive to the rim and, create the type of offense that just causes fits for opposing teams, and especially a team like the Philadelphia 76ers. And you saw that happen in a big way. I'm just happy that he was able to turn to someone or both of those guys so early. It shows that, like he's told us after the game, it doesn't matter who they're playing against. They're focusing on the system. You know what I mean? It's not about changing things up depending on what team you're playing with. It's strengthening that system and making sure that everyone's on the same page. So when you're able to plug in guys who aren't accustomed to playing every single night and you still get that level of production, I think it speaks volumes for where this team is at as a whole. And I think that for someone like Joe Mazzulla, to put them in a situation, and I know it's still early in the season, but this is still the Philadelphia 76ers. The team that beat you a week ago, had the better record going into this one, and now you come out with a huge win, confidence much higher than it was, maybe a couple of days ago, and you have the best record in each conference.
FanDuel is the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Taylor 2 halves for that bench. First half, you had a great non-Tatum stretch, and I just think you won those minutes again without Tatum in this game for the second straight night. That's impressive, especially without Jaylen Brown. And then you go into this second half, and they mix in Luke a little bit, who did score 9 points.
Yeah.
They went a little bit deeper into that lineup.
A couple of putbacks, too. I thought he did good.
Yeah, so ups and downs for them, and that's been the story of the year. You blow that big second quarter lead with those guys out there mostly. You get it back through a run in the second half with those guys off the floor, and then to start the second quarter without Tatum or Holiday for 2 minutes and survive and set those starters up to go for the win. That's the kind of impact they had, even though Banton only had 2 points, even though Mykhailiuk only had 5 points. Not staggering numbers, but impact. And I talked to Banton after the game, and one of the biggest things he said was they believed that their time was going to come. And Joe, any coach can say that, but he instilled the belief in those guys that they are going to get an opportunity eventually, and that finally came today. And guess what he pointed to?
What's that? The
challenge against Toronto, up 30.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well,
he appreciated that moment.
My take on it was the fact of how assertive Brissett was, right? And so the look on his face was as if like Mazzulla just looked at him for like 2 seconds, just like, you know what, I'm convinced. And I love that. I mean, I looked at it as that was Joe's way of saying, like, yeah, you hustled, you're fighting, I'm gonna fight for you as well. And they won the call, but yeah, I mean, I never looked at it as they were trying to, get the score up. I never looked at it as that. But yeah, I just look at the second unit as nights like this, stay ready, and that's exactly what they did. That second quarter is still a problem overall, and that was certainly the case tonight. I mean, that's essentially where they lost that 17-point lead, and that's something that Joe Mazzulla talked about they're going to have to work on. I mean, his whole philosophy of late has been finishing quarters strong, and you look at every other quarter, and you can say that about the Celtics, but except for that second. So overall, Mazzulla's obviously happy with that, but still something that he has to work with in that second quarter. But the Celtics still, man, they're trusting the system, all right? I like that, okay? So I think that's what's most important, and obviously the win is as well.
I think that stands out too for Lamar Stevens, for Neemias Queta, who was active tonight for the first time all season, coming back from that foot injury.
Yeah.
Those guys' opportunities might come as well down the line if other guys miss time or get injured or rest even. So be on the lookout for that. Joe has made that big part of his methodology this year. He said he used to spend time with those players as an assistant. Now he wants to get back to doing that and making those guys feel involved. Of course, Paul Pierce said that's a key to winning a championship, is making the whole roster feel involved. And we're going to continue to cover this run. It's been a great start to the season. This was as impressive as it gets, winning with those guys in the rotation. Sam Hauser starting, as well as Al Horford tonight. No Brown, no Porzingis. We'll see if they're back Friday against the Raptors. In-season tournament game. We'll have remote coverage, CLNS Media, Celtics All Access, and then Memphis for that big game against Marcus Smart's Grizzlies on Sunday. We'll be live in person there in Tennessee. I'm Bobby Manning. He's Josue Pavon. This has been the Garden Report. Celtics beat the Sixers 117-107.